Hey everybody, Andy's free guitar chart videos here, and I've made this incredibly complex chart. This is Andy's free guitar chart videos. Of course, it's all about guitar, which is good. And this is the 3D of chart 160. I hope it doesn't shrink out on me. Not too bad. Chart 160, major, minor fretboards. That's just a generic name for the chart. Sure that it's quite different. When we get to the 2D, we'll discuss the major and the minor patterns are up here. A reference fretboard with the string shapes is here. Of course, everything's got the string shapes now. And this is your major, all arpeggios fretboard in triads, of course. These are just triad arpeggios. That was an Ionian triad root arpeggio. Okay, but down here we've got Aeolian triad root arpeggios. You know, or everything else. You can start from any member of that arpeggio kind of thing, and then you got to get the intervals a little different. Down here is just some standard information. So that's the 3D version of chart 160. This chart is just an improvement, a kind of like an off take of the 159. For those of you who don't know what's going on with the labels, this would be a difficult lesson because I've got now this is the 3-in-1 fretboard. So each fret, for instance, this white fret down here with the a few of the colored notes in the G right here, okay, actually is 3 different notes. So it's a 2, a 5, or a 6. And you just keep in touch with the, you know, the firsts. And so down here underneath here you'll see 3 pairs of modal shapes. So you've got E and its relative minor D. D minor, you got A shape and its relative minor G minor shape, and you got C shape and its relative minor A minor shape. Okay, these don't particularly line up with the frets. They more or less line up with the fact that there's 3 notes per string, and the reason that is because this chart was born from the notion that the minor shapes and the major shapes are repeatable. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, so just look back a few charts, you know, 154 or something like that. It's actually chart, it doesn't want to move over, but from a few charts back. So we can see here that the root and the Dorian are on this fretboard. The Lydian and the Phrygian are on this fretboard. The Mixolydian and the Aeolian are on this fretboard. I just call them by their modal names, but they're really just triads. So this is a Mixolydian triad. Okay, even though it doesn't have its dominant local 7th, which is the 4th of the root. So I just call them that. So there it says it right there, Mixolydian 572, relative to our root. That's root. So it's root 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 7, 4, 6, root, 5, 7, 2. And then 6, root 3. And Locrian is 7, 2, 4. So we have 3 fretboards here, okay? And you'll notice that we have some similarities in shape. So you go 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. You see that little staircase? Well, guess what? We have 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7. It's exactly the same shape as the 2, 4, 6 staircase. You see how I'm telling you it's exactly the same shape. It's not just similar. Okay? And then with the minor starting on, let's see, that was starting on roots, so we'll start on the 6 here. We have the same exact interval relationships, and this is warped, which means we have the major third in between strings 5 and 6 from the bottom, or the in between the third and the second string from the top. Okay, so there's your major third. You just look for the R there. Okay, normally below that line in lower strings, when you go from root, here's a root, it'll go to the fourth. It's a perfect fourth. There's R to 4, there's R to 4. And by the way, these are lined up more or less. So we've got 4 on the top here, 4 on the top here, 4 on the top here, 3 on the bottom here, 3 on the bottom here, 3 on the bottom here. They're all lined up. So, and these are your pairs of shapes. The major C shape and the minor D minor shape. So C shape is 5 root 3, 5 root 3, and the D minor shape. Okay, now I'll give you a hint. The D minor shape is going to follow what shape? Not the C shape, because it's completely opposite of the C shape. That's why the root and the 2 Dorian are shown on the same fretboard. If I showed the C major Ionian with its relative minor in the C box, what do we get here? We have overlap. You see this 3 here? Here's the C box right here, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we're gonna just kind of zoop out the, you know, more or less. I said they're more or less in line together. So we've got 3. Look at the Ionian. 3, 5 root 3, 5 root 3. Here we've got 3, but we skip the 5 in the relative 6th cage bound arpeggio. Arpeggio being, now of course an arpeggio could be like a 7th. Starts to sound like a synthesizer, right? Because it doesn't know how to emphasize things. So what it is, the cage bound Aeolian arpeggio 6 there in second inversion, 3, 6 on string 3rd with the root, 6 to root, okay, is actually part of the Ionian major. It's its relative, so there's too much overlap there. So I should actually just draw the both of them together, and we can do a double keyboard. Next time we could do that. It's a good idea. I should write that down. But writing down an idea is not always easy. So I've put, instead of showing the C major shape with its relative A minor shape, I've put it with a shape that shares no notes with it. So that took 3 keyboards. Same thing with Lydian and Phrygian. The 3rd and the 4th, they share no notes. They're neighbors. These guys are neighbors. Now the Lydian 4th has the D minor as its relative 6th. So there's where all the notes are shared. Look, 4, 6, 2.